Welcome Capricorn to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 12th of August for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. We need to be mindful of your ruler Saturn, which continues its retrograde and is going to be hugely influential this week. But right at the start of the week we have a quarter moon. It occurs in a very friendly part of your chart, but one that's very much to do with your future hopes. But that's being tested by the much more intense energies of the Sun in your 8th house. If there is a friendship or group situation where there's quite a lot of politics, you could start to feel those much more keenly this week. But I feel that Saturn is also encouraging you to be aware that you may need to bite your tongue a little bit if someone does frustrate or irritate you. And this can be as true at work as in a personal situation, because at the heart of this week, Mars and Jupiter reach the peak of an alliance which has been building up for some while. Mars is about action, but it's also about where we want to demonstrate our individuality. But in the 6th house, in the chatty Gemini, for you this is very much about work. But it's been excellent if you have wanted to get fitter, be more active and develop more stamina. It's also linking to Jupiter, the planet of possibilities. So the two together could give you a push to apply for a job that really intrigues you, where you feel that your desire to support or help people for a service or an idea or your skills can really blush up. But Saturn squares up to them. And it's suggesting for you to get your identity and your qualities across in the right kind of way, I wouldn't try too hard. In an existing business situation, you may find that someone's a bit irritating, particularly if they're not pulling their weight and being as hardworking and dedicated as you feel they should be. And there's a part of you that may want to put them right. It's just as this week goes on, Mercury, the planet of communication, moves back into the sign of Leo, and both the Sun and Leo then square up at the end of this week with Uranus. One thing I can guarantee you this week, Capricorn, is you are going to, unfortunately, feel quite a lot of tension. In fact, the air can be thick with it. There can be a brittleness. Now, you could work off any excess tension by doing something very active with Mars and Jupiter's help. But I wouldn't overdo it. And by the end of this week, Saturn goes opposite Venus. This is one of astrology's most tested influences around relationships. And let's just think where Venus is for you. It's in the 9th house. If you have a point of principle, which the 9th house is very much about, or you want to travel somewhere at the 9th house, perhaps you are actually heading off as this week draws to a close. Just be aware that with Saturn opposite Venus, something could go a bit slower. It might not quite work as well as you would like. We still have Mercury in retrograde, even though it's back into Leo. And it may feel that someone's being very unfriendly, not really responding to what you're saying, or actually really openly challenge you. So by the end of this week, the potential for tension, brittleness, maybe even some sharp comments being exchanged is really quite strong. And so therefore, there's part of you, therefore, that may want to try to spin out and do something completely different for yourself, but someone could be quick to remind you of what they feel your obligations are. Now, usually, Capricorn, you're very hardworking, very committed, and someone people can really rely upon. But if you feel people are not quite coming up to your mark this week, that's what can cause the inner tension. So if you can find some diversion, some escapism, a good film, maybe some relaxing music, go for a walk in nature, all of those things would be good antidotes to the tension that can unfold. Have a great week. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Please check out my year 2025 personal horoscope forecast special offer with the link beneath this video.